Hello? Anyone seeing the live? Hi, y'all. I was having some technical difficulties. I was trying to do it from my phone. Just let me know how the quality is before we begin. Alexa, pause the music. Just let me know how the quality is before we begin. Could y'all see me? Is it clear? I was trying to get up on my phone so it could be as clear as possible, but we're having some technical difficulties with that. So just let me know what it's like. Hi. You good? Everyone's good? You can see me clearly? I'm gonna give you all that good quality. That good quality. Okay, so welcome to our soft glam masterclass, our mini masterclass. We're gonna be live doing it on hair. I'm gonna be showing you everything that I use, basically for you to achieve the most affordable soft glam using really drugstore products, affordable products. You're gonna leave the high end for another night. So everyone just confirm that you can hear me properly, that you can see me properly. Like I said, I want you to have the best quality. We can hear you, okay, Raven? I can hear you. We can hear and see. Okay, so everything's looking good. Everything's good. We're ready. Okay, so I created a list together so we can go through as I do my makeup to make it easier. So we're gonna start, obviously, like I like to start with my brows. I don't know what you all like to start with, but for me, I start with my brows. Sometimes if I feel it myself, your quality is a little bad, but we see you. We in place. Oh my God, is my quality acting up? I tried it for my phone, but it's not coming up properly. Let me know if is anyone else experiencing any problem with the quality before I really get into it. Am I freezing? What's happening? What is happening? So it's giving Android, but I can see you. Oh boy. Okay, so quality is fine. I don't know. Is it fluctuating? Because some people are saying they can see, some people are saying that it's having issues. It's gloomy. I see you. Quality is okay. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wear. I'm going to try and do it up on my phone. So give me 1 second. I will be right back because I want y'all to have the best quality. Let me see if it'll come up on my phone. Okay, guys. So I am so sorry. This is not coming up on my phone like at all. I mean, I'm able to navigate on this side, but I'm not able to get a visual off my phone. So it's much better. Okay. Okay, good. Okay. I don't know if my phone is on right now, but if it's much better, I taking your word for it. So let's get started. Let's get started. Let me know what y'all seeing. Are y'all seeing two of me or what? Because I have my phone up too. Okay, one. All righty then. Alexa, continue music. Okay, let's get it started now. See, that's the devil. That's the devil trying to get. You trying to get you all to not see this glam? No. All right. So I like to start with my eyebrows, and for this, I like to use two. You good? I like to use two products. So for this, I like to use the NYX Brow Snatch Pen. This one just gives you like really precise strokes. So I'm gonna show you like I would just flicker up. This pen is so the tip is so precise. It gives you like the best stroke ever. I love using this. So I would just flick it through my brows like this. Now I ain't against using like the dollar store product, but this right here, if you have like sparser brows, to me this works well because it gives you a precision brow. It gives you such like nice hair like strokes. So this is something that I would definitely recommend anyone get. And because my eyebrows go thinner on the edges, I like to use this. And it just lasts all day. Like you wouldn't have that smudging. You wouldn't have your eyebrows leaving you throughout the day or sweating off. It's just a really good, it's almost like a tattoo type of pen. Really like it. Really like it. What do y'all use on y'all brows? Let me know. Let's critique. There's no judgment. I mean, there might be a little judgment, but what are you using your brows? The pen is perfect to mimic brow hairs. So it's on the screen, the NYX Professional Makeup Lift and Snatch Brow Pen. So everything I use tonight is going to be on screen. So after I use that, I would use like a pencil. Elf Lift Brow. I want to start learning to do my own face. So everything I do tonight, honestly, it's going to help you enhance your makeup. Everything comes with practice. So what I'm doing now is I'm just stenciling out my brow with a brow pencil. I'm also going to show this brow pencil, but stencil out your brow first. Benefit beauty precisely. My brow pencil. I love a good brow pencil. And NYX has some amazing brow pencils as well. But first thing I do is I stencil out my brow. If you don't have brows, make this your first step, okay? I stencil out my brows to get the shape that I want first before filling it in. So I put a light line to the bottom. Alexa, pause the music. Nisha, does anyone hear anything? You can't hear me? I think it fluctuates on everyone's end based on their Wi-Fi or based on their, connection stability, because some people are saying they can hear me, other people are saying they can't hear me. So I think it fluctuates. All right, so we're gonna stick with first creating a stencil for your brow. If you have like more up in the air brows like mine, you have to be careful or you would take it too high. So you want to give yourself enough space between your lids, between enough lid space, but give yourself enough brow where you can see that you have a brow on your face. So I'm just stenciling out my brow first. I recently like cleaned up my brow before this live, so she cute. Question: I have really thick brows. Is it a need to draw them? Actually, no. If you have thicker brows, you could simply just what I call stencil it in, or use like a powder just so it could be a bit more pronounced. But you don't necessarily have to fill it in. Now, for me, I have very sparse brows, so what I do is I have to fill them in. But on days when I want to go for a more natural look, I would just take like the NYX brow glue, and I'm also going to show this on here, the NYX brow glue, and I would just go through my brows and feather it in. So if you are one of God's favorites and you have a really thick brow, girl, clean them up with a eyebrow razor, shape them up nice, and conceal under them, because you already have a shape, you already have that definition, you already have the boldness, so you don't necessarily need to add more. So what I do is I stencil my brow, fill it in. Let me know if you can see. Fill it in, and I do the little hair strokes to the front, and it really elongates the eyebrow, because my eyebrow naturally stops like right here and it goes up. So I would stencil it into the front as well to give it a more lifted, not only lifted appearance, but a more fuller appearance. And now it looks like I have eyebrows. These don't even look raw on. Look at them. That is what we want. The skin is skinning. Thank you. I call it the brow shadow. Girl, I would use eyeshadow on my brows if I need to fill it in and all, nothing else. Because shadows on the brows, it's softer. So if you want like that more soft girl era type of look, I would definitely say try an eyeshadow on your brows. But after you've created your shape, created the depth, created the length that you want, you can now go into concealing. But for me, I like a little drama on my eyebrows because they're already drama full, So why not just go all the way in drama? So I fill it in. And what I like to do to the front is, if you want a softer look, so we're doing a soft glam. When doing a soft glam, you want to avoid harsh cut lines and demarcation. So what I do is I always would feather and blend everything together with the spoolie part of my pencil. So fluff your brow upward and follow the natural shape. For me, my eyebrows go up in the air. They go up in the air. So I flick up, taking my brow hairs up like this. And I would suggest you do the same. But honestly, when you're doing your face, when you're doing a soft glam or you're doing any type of look, you have to study your face and not just take on the step or the routine of anybody else. So for me, I know I have really high arched eyebrows. I won't do the whole like the TikTok trends where they do the arch hair and then they go down, because to me that would look crazy. But if you are someone with like lower brows, that would work perfectly for you. So once you're learning your brow shape, you're learning how your face is, if it's symmetrical, the dimensions, the cuts, and everything on it, then you know how to properly place your product. So after fluffing up my brows like this, let me show you the pencil that I would use. I need some music playing. So I use the NYX Snatch Brow Pen. Love. Recommend that for anybody with sparse brows. And I would use the NYX Professional Makeup Micro Pencil. This is a great pencil. It lasts long and it's really precise. You can see the tip. It's really like skinny. I didn't want to say skinny, but it's really skinny and precise. So it gives you the perfect flick in the air. Like it gives you the perfect false brow hair. So I love this pencil. It's only $9.23. It comes with so many shades. So if you have like a softer brown, if you have a deeper brown, if you got really thick brows and you just want to add some, some life to them, this is definitely for you. So I'm going to let y'all vote. That pencil is to die for. I love that pencil. So for me, I still like the Lift Nix and Snatch. I'm sorry. This brow pen has changed my brow game so much. I love, love, love this product. I mean, the Nix pencil, cute too. It's cute. But it's really this, exactly. It's really this for me. It's really, really this. This is such a good pen, and I would say, in short, buy like 2 shades. If you buy this product, because sometimes shades can be deeper than it shows on the screen, buy 2 shades. Buy one that you think is your color and one either like a little lighter than it, just to be sure. Because that's what I did. The first one I got was actually too dark for me, and I got the espresso. Is this the espresso? I got the espresso, and it's like the perfect shade for my brow. So definitely. So now we're going to move on to concealing. What my favorite concealer is right now. But let me show you how I conceal my brows in order to get like that really soft yet like dramatic look. So I use 2 sets of concealers under my brow. And I'm going to show you the 2 that I use. My favorite drugstore concealers right now and forever probably will be, even if I get rich, is e.l.f. and LA Girl. And I know y'all got this in your bag. Who still love LA Girl? Who still use LA Girl? Because it ain't only me. It ain't only me. These 2 right here, I use one that's my shade, which is the Cool Tan or Fawn. And I use the e.l.f. This one is in the shade Tan Walnut. Love these. These are amazing. They are great for the under eyes and great for the brows. So what you want to do is get 2 shades. And I want to put this on the back of my hand. And I get, the first shade I use is the one that's actually like closer to my skin tone. And I would just use it on the tail of my brow to carve that out. And this one is actually still a little light. What you can also use for this is your foundation color. But because I have a concealer that's actually the color of it, don't necessarily have to use it. But I'm going to use the concealer anyway. So I'm going to take y'all to the product so y'all can see it. So this is what I am currently using. They have the hydrating one and they also have the matte one. I'm actually using the matte one. I use the hydrating one under. I'll never stop using. I've never used the LA Girl. You've never been to heaven, have you? You've never been to heaven. I will never stop using LA Girl. Okay, I still use LA Girl, as you should, Queen. As you should. Chappelle, get into using the LA Girl. So this is the one I'm using. This is the hydrating concealer. So I'm using this. I actually switched to a deeper shade. And I take it and I put it on the tail of my brow. Not the arch. I use it and I map out the tail. This is just to clean it up. So imagine we're being like artists right now. Everything is shadows. Everything is gradients. Everything is tones and shades. So you don't just put one color straight across your brow. So I'm putting this like this. And then I'm going to go in with my lighter shade, which is the LA Girl. And I put it on my arch. This is just to add a bit more drama. And this also lifts the eyebrow. So as you can see, this one looks a little more down. This one is a little more lifted. But by using 2 colors, it's going to blend perfectly. You don't want this shade from here straight in here. You want this shade to be focused on one area of like a peak point or a high point of your face. So that's what you do. We focus on the higher points. I use a foundation for the top of my eyebrows and concealer for the bottom of the brow. That is also a good point. I don't normally conceal on the top of my brows anymore like that, but you still can, because I prefer the more fluffy look for me. But for some people, they want that snatch look, and that's okay. So after you put your lighter shade here, I now go in the inside and I add the foundation shade or the darker shade concealer. Again, that is to clean it up. So for me, my brows isn't shaped properly, so I'm definitely going all the way in to cover those stray hairs. And now what you're going to do is you're going to blend. 1 second. You're going to blend your 2 colors together. And I know right now it's hard to see the difference in the tones, mainly because of the quality, but it blends so much better. And these are the tips I would say you should implement. It blends so much better, gives you a more natural brow, but still having a little drama to it, you know? Beauty Supply. I love up my LA Girl. Y'all, get into the LA Girl, okay? So as you can see, I cleaned up under my brow, but I still have an arch. You can see, if you can see the light point here, I have an arch right here. I have an arch right here and high point. And that's how I look at my face. When I look at my face, I do it like I'm doing an art. And I like to draw. So you always need a focal area or area of a high point or of light. And that is where we added the light right here. So deeper tone here, and blend. Or you can just use concealer from hair to hair and then blend inward. So hope y'all taking notes. under brow, I always take a Q-tip with alcohol and wipe excess concealer off. That is also a good tip for people that want a more natural appearance. But we call it soft glam, but soft glam these days are a bit more, you know, they got a little bit more oomph to it. So just for the sake of this, because I didn't really clean up my brows to the top, I'm going to take a little concealer and I'm going to clean up the tail of my eyebrow only and really give it more definition and more shape. But you don't necessarily have to do this. This is just what I like to do. And I honestly love the look it gives me. So not the area in the middle, just the area to the ends. And now I'm just going to blend this out. And she gave the person that commented that they use their foundation on top, that is Chef's Kiss. That is such a good recommendation. Using your concealer on top gives you such a better blend when it comes to putting on your foundation, opposed to having that brighter, lighter effect around. I'm not hating on the girls who use their concealers, but I am saying try using your foundation on top. Trust me, you'll never go back, okay? It gives you such a more softer looking, not just brow, but overall face. It's good. Okay, so after we get our brows in order, now I'm just going to take some, I don't use concealer really use concealer on my lids, but for the sake of this, I'm going to use concealer because we're sticking with drugstore, and I'm going to use the e.l.f. matte concealer, and I'm going to use that because it kind of omits the amount of oils that comes through. But normally I wouldn't use a LA Girl concealer on my lid because LA Girl has a lot of oils inside of it. I love it as a concealer, but I would never use it as a base because it causes oil to seep through my lids, and I have very oily lids. So if you're someone that likes eyeshadows and stuff like that, don't use LA Girl as your base. Try to find an actual base or use a matte concealer. That's going to alleviate the oils peeking through. And I'm going to put that on my lid. I don't want to use too much. Do you buy all of your products from Walmart? I buy most of them. I would order them because I could get more in bulk for the price that I would pay for probably 2 in Nassau. But I do buy most online because, like I said, you're getting a product. Let's just say the product on here is $6, right? You could buy 4 of them and put them and get them shipped to you in one box, opposed to, and clear it. Let's just say the box isn't really big. Let's just say some concealers and clear it. Let's just say for $25, opposed to buying one of these products over here, probably for double or triple amount for one, and it doesn't last you as long. So I would think of it like this: I'm buying in bulk and I'm going to pay one set price, but I'm going to have this product for 3-4 months because I bought more than one, opposed to buying one over here, spending about 20 or an additional, say 50% on it, and you have to buy it again. To me, you gotta cheat. You gotta, I don't want to say cheat the system, but you gotta cheat the system. You gotta think of it like that. So now, after blending that all over my lid, for soft glams, people don't really use much eyeshadow. So what I like to do to give me that smoky, sultry, sexy effect, I use my bronzer. Now, I have 2 bronzers on here, but I'm going to show you my favorite one. My current favorite drugstore bronzer, highlight, contour right now is this. I tried this out for my last video, and this is one of the best, most pigmented, affordable, and I'm going to show you it right now, affordable bronzers to me. In my opinion, I love to use. See, she say my fave. I love this one. It's so versatile. It comes with contour, bronzer, and a highlighter. And all of them work so good for medium to deep skin tones. It's just how much you apply. So let me get it for y'all. This is it right here. It's called the Black Radiance True Complexion Contour Makeup Palette. So what I do is I use this middle shade right here, and I just use a fluffier brush because I don't want it to be dense. And I blend it all over my lid. Softly, just blending and making a smoky effect. And you don't blend outward, depending on your eye shape. For me, I prefer to blend outward, but I see a lot of people go inward like this to give them a more sultry effect. And I do like the way it looks. It's extremely, exactly, it is extremely pigmented. It is extremely, the first time I used this, I had a big brown spot right here because I didn't expect it to have this much pigment for a drugstore product, honestly. But the pigment on this is so crazy. So I take it and you blend it in here. If you want a softer glam, I would say ditch the colors. Stick to things that make your face look more cohesive and in one. You know, so using this hair and using this on your face, right on your cheek area, is going to give you such a more cohesive look. You can look like a professional, trust me. So I blend this like this up to my brow bone, and I blend it down up to my brow bone, and I blend it down like this, and it gives you such a I'm all about cohesion. I like the things to look one and together and in sync. So I blend it up I try when I'm doing soft glams, I opt to use more warm tones than cooler tones or colors. So I'm just blending that onto my face like this. And you can go as deep or as more like light or diffuse as you prefer. But for me, I like to go diffuse up in here, diffuse on the edges, but I like to put a little more depth in here. Cohesion, that's it. That's the word. And you just blend it right in here. And it just looks so good, especially when you're done with your face. It just looks so good. So see, it gives me some like character in my eyes. My eyes don't look so naked, so bare. I like to have a little something. I'm not big on the colors anymore. Like I used to be them said I used to do the purple, the green, the yellow, all of my face. But now I'm just really into having things a bit more natural. I know all the girlies don't like this, but I like the natural look. Y'all, I was on Facebook the other day and I saw a post that said, my client, I want my face to look natural. I still want to look like me. And then there was like the artist, GTF with my chair. Because I feel like artists don't like it when we say we want to look natural. Because you know they want to go all out and do what they want to do. For me, even though I'm buying makeup to kind of enhance my look, I still want to look the same. I don't know about y'all, but I prefer to look the same. So now after applying that into the areas of my socket and like more so in my brow bone, I'm going to take a fluffy brush, the same one that I applied with, and I'm just going to blend out the edges. Remember I said for a soft glam, you want to avoid any harsh demarcation lines, things that have too much depth. It's going to take away from the softness of the look and like how diffused the look can look, all like really soft. Soft. So blend it out. Always blend. If you don't know what to do, blend it out. When in doubt, blend it out. Any favorite brushes? My favorite brushes right now. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all vote so far what your most wanted item is. My favorite brushes right now probably are the Real Technique brushes. I love them. I have a little collection going on. They work so well. They are amazing at your base. Love. And I'm going to show you these as well. I love these. And I think Walmart have these for like $12 or $15 for the base, the brushes for your base. Y'all still on this NYX Brow Snatch pen? I mean, she eyed or whatever. I like her, whatever. But I'm going to show you the brushes that I normally use. Alexa, continue music. Did I put it in here? Okay, I'll show y'all it. Real Techniques. Real Technique brushes. Love these brushes. Okay, and they are now, you can get it at $13.47. And then they also have the eye pack for $16.32. These brushes are such good quality. I have had these I got these set at the beginning of the pandemic and I bought another set earlier this year. Amazing brushes. They don't bend, they don't break. The things don't come off it and they don't fray, you know. I don't like brushes that swing me. Like I got these from 2020 and they still work like so well. So I'm gonna click on it, and if anyone wants it, you can always click once. But moving on, after you've diffused, you can go in, and what I like to do too is I would like to take some of the contour shade, this shade right here, and I just put, like I said, just a little depth, a little. And see, that was too much. I'm gonna go back in with this fluffy brush, and I'm just going to blend it out. But you just want a little depth. And when I do that, because I'm going to add a little wing, and I would just like it not to be so harsh, but I would like it to look diffused. So I'm just going to add a little in the corner and blend it out. And that is all for my eyes. I'm now going to use the LA Colors, also a drugstore product. LA Colors is probably like $3. And this is one of my favorite eyeliners, even against like my high-end liners. Love this product. LA Colors. I'm just going to do a tight, very tight wing. Are y'all like a winged liner person, or you just want the short line? I guess it depends on the look for me. Most times I opt to do a wing liner, but there are some looks I'm like, a wing liner is too much. You know, I just want to be soft. My soft girl era. Oh, it gone inside. Oh my god. I used to love a wing, but now I just go without a wing. I'm a short line girl for real. Like I feel like the wing is be a whole lot, y'all. I get some of the liner inside my eye. Oh my god. Life hack. Okay, so I still gonna do a little mini wing. I understand y'all didn't like the wing, but I still doing a mini wing. Just a mini one. See that? Just a little mini one. All right, so now we're gonna work on my face. To prime, I'm using this primer right here. I love the NYX Plump Right Back one. This one has electrolytes, and they say that, but honestly, it's just for pretty to me. But it's a great gripping and hydrating primer. For this look, I prefer to use things that hydrate my skin. So I'm also going to show you something else that I like to do. I like to use skincare under my makeup. That is very important because it works while your makeup is on top. So I like to use this Neutrogena niacinamide. I'm going to show you it right now. And I know some people, they prefer more matte things. But honestly, when it comes to glamming your makeup, the way you prep your skin is important, but you could have juicy, well prepped skin and still get a matte finish at the end. It's not how much skincare you put on. Putting on the skincare is one thing. You can have a nice, really, really, like, I don't want to say wet, really hydrated face, but it's how much powder you set with that makes a difference in a look. It's not the skincare, it is the powder. How much you lock that makeup in, how much you leave it with a little more dew to it. So this is the one that I'm using right now, this NYX Plump Right Back. Love this one. It reminds me of the e.l.f. Hydro Grip. It's also a great primer, but it's a bit more loose than the e.l.f. Hydro Grip. Short line, still cute. Okay, so this is it right here, Plump Right Back. But I'm going to show you what I prime with before even getting into that. I like to use skincare on my face. I don't care at no time of day what it is. Skincare is going to go on my face. I don't care what the look is. So this is what I'm using right now. This helps with like closing pores, diminishing the appearance of pores, and it also really hydrates the skin, and I'm all about hydrating my skin first. So this also has hyaluronic acid, and if you didn't know, hyaluronic acid helps to plump your skin. Really give it a plump. Both of these actually have hyaluronic acid, and both of these work at plumping the skin up. Because for me, especially in the mornings, I'm very puffy, or like under my eyes are very sunken in, and I just would prefer to have a more plumped, alive, and awoken face. So I really rub this into my skin, and I let my skincare set in first. Give yourself like a mini massage. So what do y'all use to prime your face? How do y'all feel about like using milk of magnesia or calamine lotion? Do we have girlies on here that use that? Let me know your thoughts on it and why you use it, or why you'd opt to use it opposed to like a hydrating primer. Is it because you get oily? Is it because your makeup doesn't last as long? Let me help you. Let me tell you. So I'm applying more of that into my T-zone area. Even though that's an area I get oily, I still like to hydrate that area because, like, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me say, calamine lotion, because it reduces the look of pores. I agree. It definitely does reduce the look of pores, but how does it blend with your foundation? Do you ever experience separation? Milk Hydro Grip is also an amazing prime. It's one of my favorites as well, hydrating. But look how that niacinamide serum just really plumps up my face. My face looks alive. It looks dewy. I use milk of magnesia. Why do you use milk of magnesia? I need to know why. Why do y'all do what you do? Why do you do it, baby? Now I'm using the NYX Plump Right Back as well on the perimeters of my face because it's more gripping, and on my nose. So if you are someone that experiences separation on your nose, I always say use a gripping primer there. It grips the makeup in place. It locks it in place better. And on this side of my face, I get patchy. So if you get like patchy or have drier skin, I always suggest using like something that grips makeup to your skin opposed to just something that modifies it. I love milk of magnesia, but I heard it's not good for your skin in the long run. That is very true. Milk of magnesia has an extremely high pH balance compared to the skin, the acidic mantle of the skin. So if anything, it erodes the skin over time, opposed to just being a makeup base, because it coats the stomach. If we think of it like for what it is, milk of magnesia coats the stomach lining. Do you know how acidic our stomach is? Our acids are near battery acids. So that thing has to have like a lot of chemicals in it for it to be effective, and using it on your face over time is really going to mess with your skin barrier. Yes, if your skin barrier is your protection from outside elements and stuff like that, and if that has a breach now, that is eroded, it's not well taken care of because of your makeup, that's when you experience the breakouts, the pigmentation coming in, the pimples, the dry areas. But for me, milk of magnesia just doesn't work well with my makeup because I see separation. It doesn't blend well with foundation. But guess what? Your face could be matte. I won't lie. I'm not even gonna lie. Your face is gonna be matte, but over time, it's gonna like deteriorate the health of your skin. So I'm gonna let y'all vote. I've already primed my skin. I have so much things in front of me. Now I'm going to color correct because Mama got circles. Mama don't even got circles when we got dark circles. Yeah, y'all picked a good one. I got some serious dark circles. So what I like to do is I like to use an orange concealer on my skin. And I don't just go straight in with the orange. I would use some of my foundation color and mix it so it could be closer to my skin. Because I find that sometimes if you don't let it dry, you're gonna have your foundation is gonna look orange. I'd be tempted. Make sure y'all are clicking I want if it's something that you want, so you don't have to go and look for it after the session. So what I like to do is I'm mixing the orange concealer with my foundation, so it takes down some of that warm tone before I put it on. And I'm just going to apply it under my eyes. And you don't need a lot. You see how people would take it on TikTok and just no. You don't need a lot. You don't need to do a lot to get coverage. And you focus it in the areas that you have most pigmentation. Like me is my mustache and under my eyes. And I'm also going to put that on the screen because LA Girl concealers are undefeated. Very much undefeated. I think I have a hair right here. This one, I feel like every black girl should have one of these because we are so much more prone to pigmentation than like lighter skin tones. And we just melanated, baby. Sometimes we melanated a bit more in other areas, but we could kind of handle that with makeup with just using simple color theory. Orange cancels out shadow. So you're not just doing it because everyone does it. You're doing it for a reason. Orange cancels out shadow. So like a mustache, 5 o'clock shadow, under eye circles, pigmentation, dark marks. I don't do my makeup without color correcting. It allows you to use less product, and for a soft glam, even though you want to look glammed, you can use less product and still have the same result. So after putting that down, where are you? Okay, I'm gonna get my fan and let this dry down just a bit. Are y'all learning? Please tell me y'all are learning. I'm gonna let this dry down a bit before I blend it out because I really want it to grip onto my skin. Good. Okay. So one thing I would also tell you is don't carry this up under the hair. Now, if you have creasy eyes like me, because I have very, very creasy eyes, and naturally, product settles in my folds, I try not to carry product all the way up under the hair. I have a friend on here who always just asks me, Daria, you don't carry, I never see you put your concealer up under there. No, because baby, by 4 hours in, under my eyes look like this. Like it's really, really creased up. So I'm just gonna blend this in just a little bit. You want to keep the the product concentrated in the areas that you needed most. You don't want to put the orange everywhere. So like under my mustache, around my mustache, under my eyes. And as you can see, my skin under my eyes look way more brought forward than it did before. So even if you're someone with like, I have a friend, she's older, she has what is it called? Like PCOS, I believe. And she gets a beard. And what she does to correct her when she's putting on makeup, because you can see more than likely she'll get like ingrown hairs. She would get a 5 o'clock shadow because she gets it waxed off, I believe, and sometimes it causes her to get pigmentation. She swears by this LA Girl concealer before her makeup, and it's like you'd never even know. So I would suggest this for anyone that has like, struggles with that, or even just has like stubborn dark marks and stuff. And I apply it. I can't wait to learn how to highlight. Okay. Blend that in. Blend, blend, blend. What y'all doing for Christmas, though? What's Christmas looking like for y'all? Blend, blend, blend. So after I blend it in, something I learned from Jackie Ina, Auntie Jackie. Let me know if y'all know about Jackie Ina in the comments, because she's my auntie. Miss Jackie Ina is my auntie. Something I learned from Miss Jackie Ina is to learn definitely Junkanoo. Y'all know I've never been to Junkanoo before. I have never been to Junkanoo. That's bad. Revoke my Bahamian card. Jacket. Something I like to do is just take a little powder, especially if you have oilier skin. This is something that you can also do. Take a little powder and I press it and I just set the areas that I normally get oils. You can use a translucent powder. I'm using this one. This isn't even the translucent one. This is the translucent one from NYX Cosmetics. This is also a powder I'm going to use to set my face. It broke. But if you are someone with oils and you don't want to use milk and magnesia, but you want your face to last longer, this definitely helps. You can just set in the areas where you normally get oily and set the areas where you put down your color corrector so it doesn't blend with your foundation. So it kind of acts as a layer in between, so it's not like everything meshes into one. Christmas is looking real foodish and rummish. I don't have any plans right now. Me and my family do this thing every year where we give out food to the homeless in the community. So that's my plans right now. But after, I don't have nothing else, honestly. Okay, so now that everything is set, I'm going to be using the OG Fit Me Let me get this on the screen for y'all because this is something I feel like, so I could come for a plate. Baby, I don't want to categorize you as someone that's less fortunate. But if you want a plate, hit me up. Hit me up. All right. So the Fit Me foundations. I didn't save it. 1 second. Fit Me foundation. The real OG. Kelly, come for a plate, gal. All right. So this is what I'm using. I'm using the poreless smooth liquid foundation, matte poreless, normal to oily. Like I said, look at the price of this, $6.94. Normally I would use my Fenty, but this gives me the same effect. This gives me the same effect. So I'm telling you to use it as well. So what I'm going to do, and this is more like a matte, so if you want like a more of a hydrated finish, really prep your skin and use less powder. But for me, for soft glam, I don't want to be as dewy. I want like a semi-matte look. So I'm going to apply some of this onto my skin. And because we color corrected, I wouldn't need to use so much more product. And for this, I'm also going to be using my Real Techniques brushes. I'm going to let y'all vote really quickly. This one a little tough. I still think I chose in the contour palette, but I'm going to use my Real Technique brush, and I'm not going to even use a lot of foundation. And I'm in the shade 340 for this. This one is actually a little too dark for me now because since y'all still with this pen, because since the cooler months, I have went down a shade or two. So this is actually a little too dark for me. So I'm going to show you how I highlight to kind of combat that and to still look cohesive and like this is my shade. So I'm applying that to my skin, and I love this product because even though it's a matte foundation, it doesn't make you dry. I don't like products that make my skin dry. And I prefer to pat, pat, pat. I applied my foundation with my brush first, then I'm going to go in with a beauty blender. That's a tip because beauty blenders absorb products. They're sponges. So what you want to do is put your product down first, the amount you're using, and then go in with your beauty blender to really smooth everything out. Cohesive is your new word. I like that word because I feel like when it comes to makeup, a lot of people aren't as cohesive. They're very, it's too much of a disconnect to me. I like things to look one symmetrical. I like everything to look like it works together and it complements each other. Is it good to match your neck undertone and coming to foundation? What shade is that? Oh, 1 second. I'm using shade 340. For when it comes to matching undertone, okay, so there's a difference. Skin tone and undertone are two different things. My undertone is a cooler undertone, but I have my skin tone on top that shows more through, and my face is warmer. I don't know why, but that's just how I'm set up. My body is split up. It's very disconnected. So I try to match my neck most times to my face, opposed to my face. I try to match go from hair up than from hair down because I would be looking darker because my face naturally is darker than my body. So when you're matching, I always opt for the neck because you want everything to be connected. Your neck and your face should be connected. How to find your tone. Honestly, so when it comes to undertones, you're either cool, neutral, warm, you're one of those. And it's not really aware what to say like, oh, I can do it myself. If you're not an artist, to look at yourself and choose a tone, it would be kind of hard because one, your skin tone kind of shows through more sometimes than your undertone. For me, if looking at myself, I would automatically look warm. But I am a cool tone person. But because my face is warmer, because I got tans and stuff like that, my skin tone takes on a warmer appearance. So I would definitely say go to like a beauty corner and get shade matched. That would be the best option. But trying to find on your own, you're probably going to waste a lot of money trying foundations. So another tip I like to do is I don't like to actually use a lot of product on my forehead. I rarely ever even highlight my forehead because she's highlighted on her own. But I'm just blending this in. And I'm really liking this color match. Like, bro, I don't even think I need to really manipulate this anymore. So I'm blending this in, and look how easy this brush is blending it in. You want to use something a bit more depending on the finish. So for me, I don't want full coverage, but I also don't want a dewy finish. If I wanted a more like a dewy finish, I would use a softer haired brush. This one is way more dense because it's going to give me a more fuller coverage. Now, when it comes to sharing down coverage, you can always go in with a beauty blender. So I go on first with a brush, then I go with my beauty blender. So now I'm done with my brush. I'm going to take a damp beauty blender and just really press that into my skin. And because I added a brush first, it's not going to steal my product. Products are expensive, and your beauty blender, have you ever washed a beauty blender and see how much product is left in the zinc? It all is stolen by this little thing. So I would always use this last. This steals your product. So when I see people using this to apply their foundation, I'm like, you're putting 100% in this, and your face is probably getting at least probably 50%. Okay, so you blend, blend, blend. And I really like to make sure everything is really blended. And if you want to finish, you would blend longer, obviously. But for me, I kind of want to keep my fuller coverage look. Lately, I've been into more fuller coverage, I guess because it's like the winter time. And the summer, I'm all a dewy, light, refreshing, soft girl makeup. But like now, I want to be like, bam. So far, I've been doing my makeup correct. Yes, you have. It's only simple things that people need to take away to really enhance their looks. And one thing I always really amp up is skincare when doing your makeup. Skincare is so important on how your makeup lays, and that's something y'all know I'm a freak of. Make sure you pulling down your products to your neck. So I'm using that on my neck because I don't want too much coverage down there, but I do want it to connect because clearly I'm using the word cohesive too much. So I'm just blending that down and showing that under hair is done as well. Okay, and now so I bronze before I highlight because I feel as though my highlight is able to shine through more when it's done last. And I'm able to basically choose my product placement better. When I've already seen the areas that I contoured, I'm now able to just highlight in the areas that needs to be highlighted. When you highlight first, I feel like you go bigger and do more than you need to, and it kind of takes over your contour. So I contour and I do my darker things first, lighter things after, and trust me, it is a difference. So to contour today, I am using, for cream contour, I'm using the elf bronzer. Am I typing? elf bronzer. 1 second. elf bronzer. Stop it. Okay, yeah. So I'm using the elf putty bronzer. Lately, I've been really into it. They have, let me go to one with different shades. elf bronzer. Okay, so this one. So I'm using this. Let me get the shade. The shade I'm using, is it on this? I'm using the shade Sun Kiss. And let me show you all the new way that I contour my face. I was doing it wrong. I did not know that until I did a little class lately. And they were like, your contouring is so important to how your face looks. You can do a contour that makes you look rounded. You can do a contour that makes you look more snatched. You can do a contour that makes your cheeks look bigger. So for me, I don't really like a rounded look all the time. I prefer to be more snatched. So initially I used to do my contour like this, following my face shape from like hair to hair. And that was cool. But if you want an elevated look, you do it hair. You stop it higher. You stop it like midway, like hair, and you blend that in. Y'all, when I say that has changed the way my makeup looks in the end and the structure, I went a little low on this one. On the structure, it gives you so much more of a snatched look on your cheekbones, be looking like a model, okay? And I apply just a little to a lot to my forehead because I have a bigger forehead. Do you recommend the e.l.f. Primer Grip? I have the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. That is one of my absolute favorite primers. I have these two, the e.l.f. Power Grip and the e.l.f. Jelly Pop. They're also on the Walmart site. Love, love, love. I think they are not a better. They are a great dupe for the Milk Hydro Grip as well. These two, great products. But this one is even more affordable and it kind of gets the same job done. So that's why I showed that one. But it's also a great product if you're looking to try that one out. So now I'm just going to blend this in. I prefer a brush. And you don't want to blend down. You want to take your contour, keep it focused in the area that you applied it, and go upward. You're going to apply a little more product. And if you see like me, like I applied a little too much just now, I'm going to take a bigger brush and I'm going to kind of disperse that product. Or you can use your beauty blender that steals all the product in general. So that gave me a really sun-kissed look. As you can see, I go upward. I don't drag down. I focus in the place or I flick upward, but most time I go upward. You can see, chiseled. Is contouring necessary? It can be skipped. It honestly can be skipped. You can even contour with bronzer, to be honest, or even blush. Most people don't know that. Blush is a form of contouring your face because it changes the structure of your face. Contouring really just enhances or changes the structure of a face. But for me, I like how it makes my face look a bit more snatched because I take it upward. I have a lot of cheeks and I don't really like to emphasize them as much. It depends. When I want to feel rosy and girly, I would go full throttle with my cheeks. But I prefer a more snatched look. That's why I prefer contouring, especially because I kind of bring down my cheekbones, but I still emphasize them in a way that they're there, you know? But you can't just bronze your face. You don't necessarily have to contour. So that was actually a bronzer that I used to contour, the e.l.f. bronzer. Start. I'm gonna let you vote. Actually, no. Dismiss. That was actually a bronzer that I used to contour my face. Where did it go? I literally just had the product. Oh my god. Oh, see here. That was a bronzer. So that one was more of a warmer toned product. It's not as cool tone as I would go. This one is way more warmer in color. I would really go for a more cooler tone, but because that was like a bronze and a contour in one, I don't necessarily have to put down a bronzer as well. So sometimes it's good to use one product that can be versatile. So now I'm just blending out my forehead. Y'all, don't forget your forehead. You know, the other day I did my makeup and I literally forgot to blend out my contour on top. And when I took photos, I had a big line here. That was not cute. That was not cute at all. So now that I've already contoured, next I go in with blush. And today I'm going to be using also e.l.f. Putty blushes. These right here are two are my favorite. This one is, this one is Turks and Caicos. And this one is, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Is this Bahamas? I think this one is the Bahamas. I think I got the one because I'm from the Bahamas. I think this one is the Bahamas, and I think this one is Turks and Caicos. I'm going to show y'all. So y'all ever see on Instagram how the girlies have the little pink, soft pink look hair, or like how Kylie Jenner does it? She has a soft pink look, and then she has like her other blush bombing. That's what I'm going to show you how to do. So for this, I use two sets of blushes. I use a deeper color blush, and I use a lighter pink blush. So now I'm just going to take some of this blush, and I'm going to apply it to a flatter brush. And I'm going to apply it here, like right below. And as you can see, this is a really light pink, but on camera, off camera, it's showing up a little more. I apply it right here. And naturally, we all have a flush of color under our eyes. Some people, you can't see it more because they're darker skinned, but we all naturally have a light flush of color, whether it be red, whether it be a warmer tone, but it's naturally under our eyes. So I apply that, then you can see it shows through. And it's a form of highlighting as well. Apply that there, just like this. And then I blend that out. So I'm just going to get a brush to blend. I stamp that in my cheeks. And then I go in with a deeper color blush and I apply it on the outside. So it's almost like you're creating a gradient of blush opposed to having highlighter, then bam, pink. You have highlighter, softer pink, deeper pink. And that gives you such a nice chiseled cheek, and it's so soft. It doesn't look harsh. It looks so soft. And like I told you in the beginning, the soft girls, the soft glam is all about ensuring everything looks so soft and so seamless and so blended. So I love blush. I go overkill on blush sometimes. And I also like to apply some to my nose just a little, but still remember we haven't highlighted it yet. So it might look like a lot, but by the time we put the highlighting shade down, it's definitely going to kind of fade down. What are some of y'all favorite blushes, like drugstore? For me, I like e.l.f. I like Milani. I like Maybelline. I like what else is there? The LA Girl, the Sweet Cheeks. What color blush do you recommend for dark skin? Now for dark skin, I really like seeing warm, like peachy, orangey blushes on dark skins. It just look y'all just have the perfect skin for that warm sun-kissed look. Every time when I used to do makeup, I did a dark skin model. I always opt, depending on the lip color too, but I always opt to use a more of a like a orangey, peachy undertone because it just looks beautiful on darker skin. But that's just me. That's just me. Okay. Okay, so now it's time to highlight. And I see someone was waiting for how we highlight. So I'm going to show you a few concealers that I have. So today I'm going to be using the Maybelline. Let me get it up on screen for y'all. Go over there. I'm going to be using the Maybelline concealer. And we're going to be using the e.l.f. matte concealers. So this is going to be the first one. Obviously not this shade, but this is going to be the first one. The shade I'm using is Camo Flaunt. Shade 45 tan. This one is going to be closer to my skin tone. I like to use two. One to conceal any areas of shadows that I may still have if my color corrector didn't do the job that I needed. So as you can see, this one isn't really a bright highlighter concealer. I apply that under my eyes like this, and I let this one sit to do the job of concealing anything. Now, here's a tip. I'm sure you've probably seen this on social media by now. Don't blend in your product as soon as you rest it down. Let it dry down some to build up some kind of coverage before blending it out. Anything that dries down a bit more is harder to budge and move, and that kind of helps with the longevity of your makeup as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little fan And I'm just going to apply this all over and let it dry down some before blending it out. And trust me, you're going to have so much more coverage than you just putting it automatically taking your beauty blender that steals your product on. And I like to blend into my eyes with a brush. And I'm using the Real Technique brushes as well. So I'm just going to let that dry down some. And this Maybelline concealer, honestly, it doesn't have a formula that dries down so quickly. So you have some time to do other things in your face while you let it sit. But because I basically am almost done, I'm just going to use the fan to speed up the process. And now I'm just going to take, this is my favorite under eye brush, this Real Techniques brush that I showed y'all. And I'm going to blend that in. And this is to conceal any areas of darkness that I may still have under my eyes. And you can see that blended right in with my blush. That is what you want. You don't want highlighter blush. You want it to have a soft gradient blend. So I'm applying that under my eyes like this. And as you can see, I also carry my blush into my temples. I like doing that. I feel like it lifts the face. It's not necessary, but for me, it lifts the face. And I'm blending any areas. And I put that first level of concealer down. And like I said, I don't put much product on my forehead like that, because the more product you put on your forehead, to me, it looks like a mask. I learned that from Painted by Spencer. He's an amazing artist, and he doesn't put a lot of product on his model's forehead because he said it gives it a more of a makeup-y look, and like it just doesn't connect to me as well. But I don't like to see makeup straight around, so I opt to use lighter coverage. That's why I use little foundation on my forehead. I kind of like the natural warmth that I have going on up there. I don't try to enhance it. I don't try to cover it up, because it just makes it give an appearance of makeup, unlike a mask. I know some people want to look different, but for me, it's some things that I still prefer to look a bit more natural. So after doing that, I'm now going to go in with my highlighting shade. And for this, I'm using a very light one. I'm using the Tan Walnut, but I want to try the Rare Beauty blush. You should. It's a great blush. So this is a lighter shade. So I'm going to show you what I do. I put this one down. And this is not going to give you an extremely bright under eye. I'm going to show you why, because I am not a bright under eye girly. Now I'm going to take another e.l.f. concealer. So it's about building things in layers. If you're afraid that I'm using too much product, trust me, it's not a lot, because like I said, I have creasy under eyes, so I've mastered this. You put down one, right? And then you take another one and you put it here, basically as a marker as to where you stop. And this is just how the gradient is kind of going to blend out on your face. It's going to be from lighter to like a middle tone to that blush shade to your blush to your contour or your bronzer. So everything, like I said, is a gradient. You are the artiste. You could do my makeup for graduation. Gonna apply a little more to my forehead, and we're gonna contour. In the meantime, while that sits, I'm gonna contour my nose. And what I like to do too, that a lot of people don't do, that I feel like is not illegal, because I use my makeup the way I want to use my makeup, is I use powder sometimes opposed to cream while I'm doing my cream things. Listen, I still ain't getting the highlighter. What you ain't getting, Kelly? Tell me so we can work on it together. What you ain't getting about it? Okay, so what I like to do is I like to use a powder. For my nose contour, I just don't like using the creams. So I would literally use a powder, dust some of that off, and I would contour with that. Because I feel like I have more control, and it just blends in so easy. And it blends in just as easy as using a cream. So Kelly, when it comes to doing your makeup, I wouldn't be able to tell you the shades that you should use, but I could only tell you the way in which you should use it. You should have one that's lighter, one that's your skin tone, and one that's probably a shade darker. One that's lighter, at least two shades to highlight with. One that's your skin tone if you want to conceal, and if you want to use concealers to contour, you can always do that as well. And now when it comes to nose contour, I take it into my brow, y'all. That is the secret. The secret to a natural looking nose contour is not just, don't stop it here. Take it into your brow and blend that out. That is going to give you such a natural contour. You blend it in, and if you worry about, like, if you realize that your makeup isn't blending out properly, use some setting spray or hydrating spray to keep your makeup hydrated. Drench your face in it if you have to, just to keep your face hydrated throughout the process. And if you feel like you added too much, you don't necessarily need a fan. And I just use this fan to just dry it down some, but just to keep it hydrated enough. I'm just gonna finish blending out this nose contour. That is the key to your makeup lasting long as well. I like to use a setting spray throughout my process. It's somewhat oily skin. I need some extra reinforcement, and that truly helps. And these e.l.f. concealers, these e.l.f. concealers dry down extremely fast. So if you have to spray, if you like took a bit longer to blend it out, just use some setting spray or some finishing spray and really drench your face and blend it out, girl. So I don't do too much. Practice makes perfect, so I'll keep practicing. Definitely. I don't use too much product on my nose because I naturally have a very pointy nose, so I would opt not to do too much on it, or I gonna look like I can't breathe. So now I'm just gonna go back to my under eye and I'm going to blend that in. And as you can see, my skin looks so good. Oh my god. Blend it in. And I'm keeping in the area that I want to highlight, carrying it underneath here, and I carry it up. So as you can see, my face literally looks so much more lifted on this side than that side. Take a minute to look at it. Do you see how lifted it looks compared to this? When you blend it out like this, you actually widen your cheeks. And I have a lot of cheeks, baby. I don't need these no wider. That's why I carry mine up. So do you see the difference? Let me know in the comments. Do you see the difference? This one looks up. This one still looks kind of flat and down. This is not a wrong way. But for me, I don't really like to emphasize my cheeks. So I prefer to go upward with my highlight. And I just blend that in and I go up. And because we applied that pink shade in the middle here, I don't have to do too much blending of my blush and my concealer placement because we already have a transition shade down. So like I said, it is art. You are the artist, baby. And now I'm going to take a damp beauty blender and bring everything together. Daria, I need a one-on-one makeup class. I don't want y'all to be, it's not hard. Trust me, it's not hard. That's why I'm trying to give y'all it in steps. And you just take your beauty blender and you bounce. Okay, so I did a class online on New York, a class based in New York online, and y'all know the people in New York know how to do their makeup. And they said if you want a more skin-like finish, don't swipe, don't do hard, bounce. Tiny, quick bounce blends things into place better than applying force. I really like that even with blending out my eyeshadow. Don't do big hard circles. Tiny circles is what gets the job done. So now I'm blending this in. Just kind of bringing everything together. And now we're going to set. Y'all, this right now is my favorite drugstore setting powder. It is the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop. Can't Stop, Won't Stop mattifying powder. So I have this in a list for y'all. And I like to use this with a velour puff as well. Do I have it? Jesus, I thought I had it. Let me get it up for y'all. NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop powder. The best, I say it, the best powder for under eyes, for oily skin. It is a mattifying press powder. It works so well. But mine ain't pressed no more because she broke. But this is amazing. Okay, this is the only thing that keeps my under eyes, aside from like the one size beauty, but because we're doing a drugstore edition, this keeps my under eyes in place. So I'm just going to get let me get my velour puff. If I lost that puff, I just had it. Y'all. Okay, I find it. So I like to use this using a velour puff. So this is a velour puff. I'm gonna let y'all do a poll. This is a velour puff. Oh my god, what did I do? Let me get the velour puff, y'all. These have changed my under eye game. So you apply some in, right? And tonight I'm gonna show you how I bake, because I never used to bake at first before, but now I do, like, slightly. I'm going to show you the right way to do it, but the way that works for me. But these are velour puffs. They give you such an airbrush looking under eye. They give you a lot of celebrity artists use these opposed to a beauty blender under the eye because it doesn't want to absorb product. And because it's like a cloth or a fiber type of feel, it just sets the product in place. So I like to apply some translucent powder down first. That's the first thing I do, and I press it just to set it, to kind of dehydrate the makeup under my eyes. First, blend it in. And like I said in the beginning, if you want a fuller coverage, you would automatically go with more powder. But I don't want a full coverage look. I want a semi-matte look. Do you still use the makeup you bought from Shein? I wasn't really a huge fan of the Shein makeup, I won't lie. There are like, I use the contour wand. I really like the shades from it. I like their blushes, but I don't really use much product from the site at all. So after I set that in like this, I really set the makeup in place, then we're going to bake. So as y'all can see, my makeup looks pretty set already. and this doesn't leave color. So if you're a darker skin, you can even use this product without having to worry about it being flash or having flashback because it's light. It's not a white powder, it's a translucent powder, so it kind of takes on and sets any makeup without leaving color behind. So I press this into my skin just like this, going over all areas because it's not going to leave color, it's just going to set. I have oily brows too. And now you would highlight your face or essentially bake. So let me get my powder. Where is you? Y'all, I promise I had everything in place, but like it's so much going on. Oh my god, I'm embarrassed. Okay, I found it. Okay, so this is the Fit Me powder. This is what I would use essentially to bake, or you can use the Elf. Oh my god, this is embarrassing. Okay, we're gonna stick to this. Y'all know how to be with the makeup counter. We're gonna use this. This is the Fit Me loose setting powder. So with the thing that people do with baking that causes it to basically make your makeup crumble is they go in too heavy with powder first and not setting it under the eyes. So as you can see, I use a translucent powder first under my eyes, and that's why I never ever have flashback when it comes to my makeup under my eyes. Ever, never, never. So I use a translucent powder first, and this one is in the shade medium deep, and now I'm going to take it and I'm going to apply that, and that is literally too much. I'm going to dust half of that away. I do the lightest bake ever just to really lock the makeup in place and just highlight under the eyes slightly. Little hair, little on my nose, little hair. And I'm doing this because I realize a lot of people swear by baking. You don't have to do it to have a fuller coverage look or even a look that lasts you. But because a lot of people do it, I'm going to show you how to do it, but do it in a way that doesn't leave you looking essentially like a ghost. So apply it here. Do you still use the makeup you off machine? I still did. Do y'all bake or is it just me? Because honestly, I'm against baking. I understand its benefits, but do you bake or is it just me? And if you bake, what do you bake with? And how long do you bake? Like, it's swear in the kitchen. So I just plot it in and I leave that on. So now I'm going to go to lashes while I just let that sit for a few minutes. So for lashes tonight, oh my God, 1 second, guys. So many things everywhere. So many things. All right, for the lashes tonight, I'm going to use, I don't bake because I have very dry skin. That is a good point. If you have dry skin, I don't recommend baking. For me, I have extremely oily skin, so it kind of works out in my favor. Well, I'm literally looking for these lashes. It literally works out in my favor. So tonight I'm using the wispy lashes, if I can find it. I had everything in place, y'all, but my phone set up kind of threw me off because I wanted my phone tonight, and now I have my big laptop. I found it. Now I have my big laptop on my counter, so it's kind of taking up a lot of space. But tonight I'll be using the wispies. Y'all can see I abuse these. These are my favorite drugstore lashes because they're so like simple, but they give you such the perfect everyday glam look. I really, really like these, and a lot of artists use these for like wedding makeup. So this isn't a wedding makeup, but it's gonna work out really well. Trust me. So tonight I'm using the Kiss Lash Glue. And I'm going to remember that bake is on my face because if you leave it on too long, Miss Girl, that will stain your eyes. Oh, we don't want that. All right. So I'm just going to take a mirror. I don't have to trim these down because these are perfect for my eyes already, my eye shape and the length and everything. So I'm just going to, before I put it on, bend your lash. Bend it. Make a curve. A lot of people feel like, I can't get it. It's be straight. Bend it. You have to form your lash to fit your eye. So for me, I curve this down. Bend it in place like this. Give it a few seconds to catch a curvature and allow your glue to dry. And then you're just going to take it and rest it down. And I prefer to use my hands, honestly, opposed to a like a lash. See, y'all making me nervous. I prefer to use my hands opposed to like a lash applicator. Oh my God, y'all making me nervous. Y'all know when you do something good and then people watching you and now it's like you freaking out. That's how I feel right now. Cause like I struggling to put on this lash. Okay, so she on. She on. So these are really subtle lashes. I know y'all looking at these like, no, sir. But everyday lash, this is what it's for. Everyday lash, one of my favorite everyday lashes, gives you just like the perfect lift, and it's really soft. Like I said, when I go for like this soft glams, it's either go hard or go home. But for these just give you like this perfect soft girl little look, and I really like it. I don't know what y'all. Soft girl era is correct. So these are the wispy lashes by Kiss, and I always buy them from here. They give you just like the perfect realistic length. Which lashes do you recommend? I like these. I also like Ardell lashes. Ardell lashes are nice as well. But I honestly prefer these lashes to Ardell, because I see how versatile they can be with a nice wing or a nice like eyeshadow look. These can make a look so sultry and so nice. So I just think they're a very versatile lash. Kiss gets some good lashes. I agree. Their lashes are bomb. So I'm going to apply the next one. I apply the glue down. I see some people would apply the glue like onto the lids too, but to me, that's not necessary. It's excessive amount of product. It does hold it longer, but you can get the seam hold with just using one strip. Once you allow your strip to dry down some, I think you get the seam effect. See, now I'm just going to dust off this bake, which I don't want under my eyes to be steamed. You can either press it in or you can dust it off, but I'm just going to dust it off. And based on what y'all seen on camera, does my face look more like a full coverage look, or it looks like, how does it look to y'all from the camera? And I also can see all that blush I had on initially kind of died down. It softened itself up based on all the products that I applied after. So as I said, don't worry about the blush. Okay, so let me see if I get this on one go, because y'all making me nervous. See, I think that one's a little better. I'm just going to squeeze them together. Get the inner corners. So like I said, if you want to go like heavy on the lash, you always could, but I always prefer a softer lash. Sometimes I prefer a softer lash. Most time I am a heavy lash girl, but I really do like the Kiss lashes. They are very soft, they are very nice, and like I said, they are very versatile. Yes, we love a soft glam. We love a soft glam. So now I'm going to show y'all the mascara. If I can find my mascara. So many things, guys. I'm so sorry. So my favorite mascara right now is the Sky High Mascara from Maybelline. This is my absolute favorite. Let's do a poll. Okay, so this is it here. This gives you so much more hairs. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do this, but this mascara, it gives you so much more like lash hairs. And for me, I like to test lashes. I mean mascaras. Y'all still with this brow pen. I like to use mascaras on my, as y'all can see, this is busted. I kill it. I like to use mascaras on the bottom lash to test it. So I'm just going to get a mirror. Y'all, my lash coming off. Okay. I'm going to apply some to the bottom to really blend my lashes together. And now I'm going to use this on the bottom lash itself. So one thing I like to do is I like to take a little powder and apply it down. I don't know, it just helps me with applying my mascara because I'm pretty messy at the bottom. I have not mastered doing the bottom mascara yet. So I put just a little down. And then I go in with my mascara because it helps with anything that leaves in the background. Like if any product gets on my actual lower lash line, I can just dust it away using the powder. So that's a tip you can use if you struggle with doing it like me. But I try to focus it just on my lash the best as I can. I need to focus for this. I'm sorry. I can't talk to y'all right now. So if y'all also have any questions or any products that y'all want to see, y'all can let me know in the comments. And I can definitely navigate the site for y'all to help y'all find what you're looking for. I'm upset that this quality isn't gonna allow y'all to see how much lashes mascara is giving me. But trust me when I say this is one of my favorite mascaras. If you check my TikTok, I use this product in basically all of my makeup looks. And I still get mascara to the back of my eye. Any makeup palette you recommend? Definitely we'll check out some palettes after. So you an eyeshadow type of girly? See, I am sorry, I am not an eyeshadow type of girl anymore. I used to really be into eyeshadow, but now it's like I all about that soft glam and that smoky glam. But we can look at some shadows. I like NYX shadows that they just brought out this year. They're really good. And I kind of like a heavy lower lash line more so. Are you doing a wing liner? I don't think I want to do a wing liner anymore because I like how soft this looks. Look. A wing liner kind of amps up a look to me to a bit more full glam. So, y'all, the lash is still lifting. This lash is plotting on my downfall. Oh my God. 1 second, guys. I joined late. Will all the products be listed eventually? All products are going to be available for you at the end of the session to see. I'll even front with y'all. This lash was coming off. Should have a little meet and greet. You know, that's not the first time someone's told me that, but it's like, y'all, honestly, y'all on here and I love y'all so much. But it's like, look how I messed with the lash. Oh my God. Someone's told me that, but it's like sometimes I don't feel like I look at myself the way y'all is look at me. I don't. And I think that's why I'm a little scared to do that. Cause to me, I'm just a regular person. But to y'all, you know, I a little somebody, you know? I just feel like a meet and greet is so serious. Do y'all agree? Do y'all think I should have a meet and greet? Is that something y'all would like to see from me? But I appreciate it though. I really appreciate y'all's support so much. So much. So for y'all to even say that, to say, oh, I want to meet you in person, that's crazy. Is this a whole unit on your head or is just a ponytail? This is a whole unit on my head. This is the wig. So you're trying to say my bust down really flat? You're trying to say she really flat, Miss Girl? This is a whole unit on my head, girl. I have the tutorial up. It's a little ways back, but this is like one of my favorite wigs ever. So thank you for noticing. Okay, let's try this again. Y'all, don't talk to me right now. Stop talking to me. Stop typing. Okay, we on. I think we on. Is we on? Okay, I think we on. Daria, when that bust down my head. Okay. And this, y'all, this lash is coming for my life. This gonna make me switch this lash because it's print on my downfall. Okay, I think we okay. But the glue just kind of do it up. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is I'm gonna contour just a little further to really the look up a bit because I feel like I look a little flat and I don't want to look flat. I will look chiseled. The next bust down is coming up really soon, but we focusing on makeup. So I'm gonna use this palette right here, the Black Radiance palette that I showed y'all. And when I say y'all have to be so careful with this, I really scared. I'm just gonna bronze. And you focus it in the area that you're applying. So I apply this underneath my blush just to really amp up my cheek a little. But I feel like I look a little flat, so we're adding dimension. So when you're doing this, you're adding dimension and warmth back to the face. And you just apply this to your forehead as well. And I have a big forehead, so the bigger your contour or the bigger your bronzer, the more kind of slim or smaller your forehead would look. So if you're anything like me and you be wanting to bring that down a bit, nothing wrong with the big foreheads now. I offer it. Love yourself, girl, or nobody else will. But I apply a little out of my chin. And I see I have some demarcation lines. I'm just blending that in, making sure it's soft. And as you can see, that this has a warmer undertone than the contour shade. Contour shades are cooler, so use it in areas that we naturally have shadows, like in the hollows of our cheek. And bronzer shades are warmer, and we use it on areas where we want a more sun-kissed look or a more warm appearance. So as you can see, that kind of warms up my face and gave me a whole lot more dimension, and I am living for it. Oh, I applied a little too much. I'm gonna take a bigger brush and just blend that off. And now I'm just going to take a blush for my blush today. Hold on, y'all. I'm having a struggle. I'm actually going to be using lipstick. I want to show you all a little trick that I like to do. So I'm going to take y'all to the NYX. What is this? Smooth Whip matte lip creams. So this is something that I've been doing forever. Smooth Whip. Okay. I've been doing this forever. So I like to use lipstick as my blush, really a matte lipstick, because they last so much longer and the color is so much more pigmented. So I use a bigger brush and I kind of share the product out in the back of my hand. And then I would just kind of stamp it onto my cheeks. And when I say it lasts you all day, it lasts you, to me, better than any like powder blush would, because it's a matte lipstick, and you know matte lipsticks are made to last long. So I always like to use these on my cheeks. And it's not just the next one you can use. You can use any lipstick that you have home. But I blend that in and it gives you the most cheeky appearance ever. And if you feel like you went like, overboard on a blush, but I love blush. You don't gotta love blush as much as me, but I truly, truly love blush because I like how it makes me look rosy. You can just take some powder and soften the look. But I love, love, love blush. I love me a pink blush. And I think I even brought it down too much, so now I'm gonna add more back. I'm loving this look. Oh, thank you so much. I just wish the quality was better so y'all could see it a bit better. But it's really, really cute or whatever. And like I said, y'all, I love blush, so I even on y'all run. I love me some blush. I'm gonna buff it out. And I carry my blush in my temples as well, always, because like I said, blush placement is also a form of contouring and highlighting your face. But it adds such a pretty flush of color to your skin. I really, really love it. So now we're gonna move on to lips. Before I go on to lips, I'm going to use this setting spray again. I like to set throughout my processes because it helps my makeup to last longer, and it really helps to mesh all the powders together with the cream so it doesn't look powdery in the end. You can have a more skin-like finish. So y'all can see my skin. The skin is skinning, okay? The skin is skinning. How old are you? I am 20. How old do I look? How old do I look, Miss Mama? I'm going to take my fan and I'm going to dry this down a little. How old do I look? How old do I look? If someone could guess how old I am, oh, I'm gonna hit you up after this live. If you could guess how, y'all, this, my eye is watering. This lash is praying on my downfall. 20, nope. 21, nope. 22, no. 24, no. I'm not 24. 24, no. Nah, Shini, why you gonna do that now? I am 23. Yes, I am 23 years old. I am 23 years of age. So as you can see, that fan dry that right down. And this is the Milani Make It Last. This is a really, really good setting spray. And you get so much for your money. I love this. I also love the e.l.f. Stay All Night. I'm going to show you both of these right now. They work really, really well at doing your makeup. They help your makeup last all night. For real, I've tested them before. Where is it? This one. And this one is so affordable. $10. This actually works just as good as this. But to me, you get more product in this one. So I'd always opt for this one. I am not 27, Gabby. Gabby, how dare you say that to me? How dare you? How dare you? Exactly. Where are you going with that? So now I'm just going to highlight my face, and I'm going to use the. I'm sorry, this is actually broken. Where is it? I'm going to use the NYX Born to Glow palette. Y'all, I abused this. It's now broken. I am so sorry. But I'm going to use this to highlight. This is a great one. It comes with a highlighter, a duo, a bronzer, and highlighter duo. But they are honestly both shimmery, so I wouldn't suggest using the bronzer as a bronzer. You got a big shimmer across your face. But I'm just going to use the actual, like, gold side. My lord. Woo! I love this highlighter. She's very strong though. Like, you have to be careful. You have to seriously be careful, because just now I wasn't careful. I love this though. And I put just a little. It's just, look at that. So when you highlighting, let me explain something. When you highlighting, don't just place your product placement anywhere. Look for the areas where the light hits your face. So for me, I am a cheeky person, as you can see. It's hair. So I would place that right in the areas where I see light naturally hits my face. I won't just go side side. I would follow the shape of my face. I have a very oval, like, circular face, circular face. So I would follow how my face goes. And when I tell you that gives you such the perfect and most beautiful highlight, I like to take it under my eyebrow too. I know some people say highlighting under the brow is dead, but I didn't say it so it's not dead. And I highlight my nose because I think my nose is cute or whatever. I bring that down the bridge. I can't believe y'all was good. We always going with the highlight. I love a highlighted brow. I don't understand why people say that's dead. I love a highlighted underbrow. It is so pretty. And if light naturally hits it, why not enhance it? It looks so pretty. Nowadays be like, oh, it's 2000. It's so outdated. Baby, makeup has no manual. Makeup has no date. I love highlighting. And most times I would use a liquid highlighter, but this one is giving me kind of the same effect. So loving that. Now I'm just going to line my lips, and I was excited to show you all my new lip combo that I found. So this is a great highlighter. I love this bronzer. It's super nice and really nice on especially like darker skin tones. So can't wait to see this lip combo. See, y'all like my highlight? Like it's really popping off. And if you ain't someone who like the bomb highlights, you could simply like tone it down. You can take a bigger brush and just bring it down a little. But for me, baby, I want you to see me from Mars. I want you to see me from Old Town. I love being highlighted, but highlighted properly where it doesn't look like it's distracting. Okay, so I love it too. Okay, next hot cocoa. Ho- hold on. Next liners. Next lip liner. So I found this liner while I was actually away. Okay. This one is called Hot Cocoa. I don't know. I don't know. This is the most beautiful brown, one of the most beautiful browns I've ever tried from NYX, from any brand when it comes to a lip liner. And I'm going to show you it. So hold on. I have Vaseline on my lips. It is so pretty. It reminds me of chestnut from MAC, but it has a bit more of like a violet hue to it. And y'all know I'm all about that dollar store, what you call dollar store lip liner. But this one, I actually kind of like it more. Look at that brown though. That is so pretty. That and it actually made my lips look bigger, but it's so pretty. It looks really bougie to me. I don't know. It just looks really bougie. And now I'm just going to use one of my favorite from NYX Cosmetics. I love their butter glosses. Y'all, these are my favorite glosses. That one is called the Hot Cocoa from NYX. Hot Cocoa. So after this, you can just go through all the colors that they have. But Hot Cocoa, listen to me, that is a beautiful. My lips look so good. So now y'all know I love me the NYX butter glosses. Now let me see if I put it in here. I didn't put it in here. Let me get y'all to them butter glosses. Y'all keep letting me know if I helping y'all, if I teaching y'all NYX butter gloss. The best glosses in the world to me, in the world. I'm using the color Butterscotch. I swear the butter glosses are just so pretty. The best. Most pigmented glosses in the world to me. I probably had every shade of these blushes. Probably every shade. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm not ashamed. So now y'all are basically done with the glam. If y'all have any questions or y'all had any questions throughout that you really wanted to ask, you can ask now. Just gonna put a little more liner because this lash coming for my life. Oh my god. I put too much. It's giving body. I gotta fix that. 1 second. Y'all, one thing I ain't is it's scared to tell you I mess up my makeup. So I just use some concealer to bring down that liner because I went too heavy on the liner. So I'm using some concealer to clean it up. So if you ever make a mistake with your liner, like what I did just now, just take some concealer and clean it off your lid. Fixes it. It's giving body, IG body. Thank you. I feel like I look like almost like a wife though. It's giving wedding. It's giving wedding beats for some reason to me. Will we be able to watch a replay? Actually, no, there is no replay on these lives. Um, but I'm always doing these on here, so this is something you can always tune into. And the last thing I'm going to do is just set my face once more. And I'm going to use my little fan. And I'm going to show you what I do after I set. That's the last thing that really like just finishes my makeup off. So now all my powders and everything is going to really be just solidified and dried down and, connected together. I'm not going to say cohesive anymore because the girlies came for me on that tonight and that hurt my feelings. Before you get this little fun, I bought this from a brand over here. I'll post it on my stories after this live. And y'all can see my skin. I think it's my skin that's getting to me. I love when my skin still, it looks enhanced, but it still looks like my skin. And I think a lot, so they just opt to do the more like fuller and more heavy coverage look. And I used quite a bit of products tonight, but we didn't use a lot of product. And that's the thing. You don't need to use a lot of product in order to get a glam that makes you look beautiful, make you look enhanced. Cohesive is a great word. You think I rhyme with y'all? Cohesive was an amazing word. So I'm just going to use my fan. As you can see, that fan literally just brought everything together on my skin. Y'all, in person, my skin looks really good. And that's something I truly focus on when I'm doing my makeup. If my skin ain't in order, I ain't happy. So I have a little of my liner bled on the inside of my eyes. And you'll make mistakes doing your makeup. I don't care how good you are or how not good you are. You'll make mistakes. But guess what? You'll learn from those mistakes as well. And what I like to do at the end is I just like to take a little of powder. After I use my setting powder, I like to use like a loose powder and just press under my eyes. Because I added the setting spray there and I kind of dimmed out my highlight under my eyes. So now I'm just going to take some setting powder and kind of bring that back. And I won't set that. I'll just press that in. I'm not going to let it sit. Just press it in to bring back that kind of bright effect under my eyes. Okay. And guys, that is basically it for tonight. That is it for the look. I am so sorry. But like the first and foremost, because y'all like I could be real on here. I like to first and foremost apologize for the quality. I really, really wanted it on my phone, but we were having some technical difficulties tonight, so I had to opt to do it on my laptop. But I feel like a princess. I feel like I named Princess Darea. Like it's really cute. I won't even lie. It's really cute. So let me know if y'all learned something. Man, when the live of it won't be clear. Let me know if y'all learned something tonight. I had so much fun on here with you guys. I hope you learned something. I hope you got some products. Y'all know my DMs are always open. I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok. I just say the live get I'm so happy. Like we retained basically everybody tonight. I am so grateful. So happy that you all came out tonight. And I hope you learned something. If you learned something, drop in the chat. I need to see that you all learned something because this is a class. I really hope y'all learned something. So let me know what you learned. If it's something that you knew, something that you didn't know, something that you were unsure about, but now you know, let me know what you learned. Tell me now. What you learned, Kelly? Tell me what you learned, Kelly. Let's just go through some of the products. I'll put some of the products back on the screen for y'all to see what I use. Contouring tips. Great. I'm so happy to hear that you learned. Eyebrows. Okay. So velour puffs. Niacinamide. I learned how to highlight with scents. I'm happy to hear that following the blueprint, the natural blueprint of your face. What else? What else did y'all learn? Because 222 of you are in here. I need to hear some more things. What did you learn? Mix the orange corrector with your foundation. That is a great point. That is really, really good. And that helps me because I used to have orange under eyes, orange around my mouth, orange because I didn't do that. But it's not necessary, but it definitely helps if you're a beginner at doing that. I learned cohesive. Cohesion. Cohesion is what we want. Cohesion. Everything just getting into makeup. I'm happy to hear that. Blend, blend, blend. Yes, ma'am. Blend, blend, blend. When in doubt, blend it out. Okay, is there anything else you want to ask me before the live ends, guys? I'm open. If you want to show me a product, if there's something you want to ask a question about, just let me know. There's a product you want me to revisit or go back to. Oh yes, the palette. Okay. So I want to show y'all. I am so disorganized. Do I have it here? Okay, no, I'm gonna just show you it. Okay, so I'm gonna show y'all. Oh my god, stop it. Okay, so we're going to go to Elf Bite Size eyeshadow. So honestly, I don't use much eyeshadows, but I find that these have been so helpful. If you're someone that doesn't really love eyeshadow, I don't know if you're a love of eyeshadow, but these come in so many colors and they're $3, and the pigment on it is absolutely crazy. They are beautiful shadows. They've won so much awards this year because a lot of people say they're travel friendly, they're pigmented, they're affordable, they're cruelty free, they're clean. They come with 2 matte shadows and 2 shimmer shadows. So I like the it's 2 that I like. I really like this one right here. This one, this pink. And I also like the cookies and cream one. Let me see if I can go back to it. The cookies and cream eyeshadow. Is it here? Bites at cream and sugar. Cream. I don't know where I get cookies and cream from. This one right here is also one of my favorites. It has a beautiful dark brown shade. It has a beautiful light highlighter shade, a nice bronzing shade, and a highlighting matte shade. $3, and they have so much colors. You could have so much of these in your makeup bag at once, opposed to carrying around a hefty palette. So I don't even really buy palettes like that anymore. I opt to buy things that are smaller, more compact. So I like these, and these are what I would recommend because these save you money. These save you money. NYX palettes. And then you also have like NYX palettes, of course. NYX are amazing at everything they do. You have the Ultimate Eyeshadow palette. You have their Bright Pros palette if you're someone that's more into like colors. But they also come in a liner form. So these ones are creams. And then you have just a plethora of shadows that you can choose from. The lingerie line, the Ultimate Queen. I have this one. This eyeshadow is crazy on dark skins. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Super pigmented, nice colors, nice shimmers and mattes. It's not just matte shadows, it's not just shimmers, it's a nice combination of both. So this is also a great one. It comes in a bigger form as well, but this is the one that I have from the Queen's collection. So if you're looking for palettes, that one. And I'm showing more like browns and neutrals because I like them. Soft glam girl. So yeah. Is there anything else anyone would like to know? And I let y'all choose your most wanted item thus far. And please don't pick the NYX Snatch Brow Pen. I'm not even gonna do that with y'all. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in tonight, guys. I hope that we can have a lot more of these coming up with more colorful looks. You know, probably editorial, a little wedding beats, a little meet his mom look. I'll be so happy to host these with y'all. Let me know. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm so happy that you all tuned in and you stayed until the end. I will see you guys later. Don't forget, everything will be added to your cart that you select I want on, and you wouldn't have to navigate the site at all to look. So thank you all so much, and I want to say good night. It's always a pleasure.